You are listening to the Million Dollar Coach Business Podcast with Amanda Karlstad, episode number 262. Welcome to the Million Dollar Coach Business Podcast, a show for coaches who are ready to up-level their business and take their impact, leadership, and results to $1 million level and beyond. If you're ready to break through your limitations and start taking powerful action and become the seven-figure version of you that your business needs in order to grow, scale, and thrive, this show is for you. I'm your host, Amanda Karlstad, master coach, high-level business mentor and advisor, master intuitive, and business growth and scaling expert. Let's get down to business. Hello and welcome, everyone. So glad to have you here. I hope you're well. Welcome to today's show. Today, we're going to talk about something that, as I was preparing this episode, I was thinking about it, and it's something that I don't think that I've talked about before on the podcast, but it's something that I've been doing a lot of thinking about a lot lately, both from my perspective as a master coach and the work that I do with my clients to help them really grow and scale their businesses. And also from my perspective, being a client of coaching and my experience over the years of being coached throughout my career. And I will say that over the years, I personally have invested, I haven't added it up exactly, but definitely hundreds of thousands of dollars into my own support, into my own development, into my career as a coach, and into my business, into all of the things. So this is a really important conversation. And I think it's especially important in the context of growing and scaling a business. And so I'm really excited to have this conversation with all of you today because I don't think it's a conversation that is really happening in our industry. And that is around the topic of depth. And specifically, depth in the context of a coaching relationship, depth in the context of a coaching container, depth in the context of really supporting your clients as a coach and really supporting them at the highest level. And I've been thinking a lot about this recently is because one of the things that I am so proud of when I look at all of the amazing clients that I get to support, that I have supported over the years. When I look at my mastermind containers, whether we are helping clients scale to that $1 million level and beyond, or if we're helping clients who are earlier on in their journey, if we're helping them to take things to the next level. One of the things that I have been very intentional about in my own career and how I have structured my programs from the beginning is in a way where I know that I am able to provide a high level of support, where I really know every client, where my team knows every client, where we have deep conversations. We can do deep coaching with each and every client, where there is true depth in the coaching relationship. And this is something that has always been very important to me. It's something that even in my scaling journey, I have been very intentional about and have always made a really strong effort to structure things in a way that lends to as much depth as possible and having the ability to go as deep as we need to with clients. And I will also say that having invested at the levels that I have in my own coaching, in my own career, in myself, in my own growth, and the support that I have over the years, as I've been in my own journey, I have invested a substantial amount into coaching, into being supported in many different ways throughout my career. I share this with all of you because this is coming from a place of not only being a coach, but also my experience of being a client. And one of the things that has come up for me so strong recently is just how important having depth is, not only as a coach for clients, but also for yourselves. So let me explain. There is a real difference in my experience between what I would call information and transformation. And in the coaching industry, as a client, I think it's very important to understand what those two things mean, to understand the differences between the two, and to also understand what you need based on the season of business that you're in. And I will say that both exist in the coaching industry, both information and transformation. And that's a great thing. And what I've also noticed over time, after having been in this industry now for the past 6 to 7 years, is that information truly is everywhere. There are many programs that exist that are purely informational. And I would go so far to say that this is probably even the most common type of program that you'll see at this point that is very informational. And I do think part of that exists because of, for example, the popularity in the course industry and the accessibility of information. And I do think that there is a time and a place for information. I think especially when you are earlier on in your journey, the fact is that there is a level of information that you need. However, there also very quickly comes a point in time where more information is no longer relevant, where the how-tos, the step-by-step, the instruction manuals, as I would say, are no longer what's needed. And what is actually needed, what so many of you need, is actual transformation. And the transformation that is only available through a container or a coaching relationship that is set up, that is conducive to transformation, where there is room for depth. That's what I'm talking about here. And the reason this is such an important conversation for all of you is because one of the things that I observe that happens over and over again in the coaching industry, no matter what level of business you're at, is that you are inundated with so much information. There is so much information at your fingertips, whether it's on social media, whether it's on Google. Now thinking about what's happening with AI, the reality is that we are in a time, we are living right now in a time and in a space where there is no lack of information anymore. And depending on what we're talking about, right now, you might even be feeling a sense of information overload. I know many, many clients, I know many, many coaches are feeling this way right now. And so I just want to normalize this for you because I see this with my clients. I have definitely been in seasons of this myself. I see this happening externally in the industry where the volume of information is to a point where it feels overwhelming, where there's so many ideas, there's so many different types of strategies, there's so many tactics, there's so many opinions and ways of growing a business. And so what can happen very quickly is that if you're taking all of that in and not really looking at what is most needed for you in that moment, the result is that you might find yourself in a state of overwhelm. Or alternatively, I see this happen very, very often where you might be in a place where because you're trying to create results, you're trying to implement it all at once. You're jumping from one strategy to the next, and you're feeling as if you have to do everything. And at the same time, feeling like nothing is working, and then falling into a state of frustration, falling into states of disappointment. And the reason this is happening is because if we really zone out and if we really look at what's happening, the truth is that you're not really giving space to master what is needed. And instead, you're trying to implement all of the different things at once, but not really giving the one or two things enough time, enough energy, enough effort to really produce the results. And so what happens from there a lot of times is then it's very easy to think, well, I'll just go over here and I'll try this next thing and I'll try this thing over here and I'll try this thing over here. All the while, you're probably second guessing everything that you're doing. And you're just in this state of uncertainty and you're questioning whether or not what you're doing is even going to work and second guessing yourself. It's really a difficult cycle to be in. I'm sharing all of this with you because what I've learned from both my own experience and from my years of coaching clients and supporting clients in growing and scaling their businesses and going through this journey of growing and scaling businesses is that knowing when a level of information is needed and when it's not. And that distinction is very, very important. And I will also say what's even more important with that is truly understanding what information is important. I talked about this in last week's episode, the podcast about math versus drama. I would highly recommend, if you haven't listened to that podcast episode, definitely go back and listen to that. I've gotten a lot of great feedback on that podcast. Thank you so much. But I'd highly recommend, again, that you even go back and maybe even re-listen to that episode, because having the clarity around what's actually needed, having clarity around the type of information that you even need is so, so important. And the other thing that I will say is that even when you are in a container that leans heavily on information or maybe on the training aspect of things, for example, in my own programs, there is a core element of training. There is a core element of curriculum. There is a core foundational process that every client has to go through. And even within that, it's vital to know what you're actually trying to solve, even when you have the roadmap, even when you have the how-to, even when you have it laid out. It very often, I see coaches that are not solving the right problems. And so from my experience, having the ability to really discern this, having the ability to really look at these things can only come from a container, from a relationship, a coaching relationship where there's space for depth, where it isn't just fully informational, where it's not transactional, where there is space to dive in, to go deep, to get to the root of whatever the challenge might be. And so this is really important when you're in this process, because when you are in this journey, there is space for both, where you have the space and you need the space as a client, where you need the space to be able to explore. A lot of times, even before you get to any information, even before you get to any strategy, even before you get to any of the how-tos, to be able to determine what information you need to explore what's truly going on at the base level of the challenges that you're facing is really, really important. Because what happens is when you know that, when you then layer on the information, when you layer on the roadmaps, when you layer on the strategies, that's when you can really start to maximize, where you can really run with that, where you can grow quickly and become a master at the things that your business, my friends, will require you to master. And these things are things like marketing. These things are things like sales, being able to deliver to groups, being able to get your clients the result that they want, creating transformational containers for your clients, knowing the right systems to be implementing, how to work these systems in your business, how to manage your finances. I could go on and on. There are so many things. But what I want you to take here is if you are just in a space where you're just getting information, it's going to be very challenging to put all of that information into play without really going deep into what's driving the implementation of that. And so one of the things that I've learned over the years, and having all of the experiences I've had as a client, being in all the different types of containers, being in all the different types of programs where I have worked with so many coaches as clients who I've supported in creating and building and growing and scaling all different types of containers. I have been in the courses. I've been in group coaching programs. I have been in masterminds. I've been in memberships. I've hired one-on-one coaches. I have literally experienced every type of coaching container that exists. And I've also coached my clients and helped my clients grow and scale their containers in their businesses. And what I will tell you is that in every single case, the most powerful containers that I have been in, the most powerful containers that I have helped my clients create and deliver to their clients. The reason I have chosen to run very high level, very transformational mastermind containers myself is because of the transformation that exists and the transformation that is created when you create a space, a container that allows for this depth and not just information. And my friends, this is what I believe true coaching is all about. Coaching to me, when I think about what coaching actually is, coaching is transformation. Coaching is the process of transformation, helping clients arrive at a desired result. And so as coaches, I do believe that being intentional and making decisions in your business or decisions about how you're structuring things within your coaching containers, decisions about how you are wanting to deliver this level of transformation to your own clients, decisions around how to teach what it is that you may need to teach your clients so that they can experience transformation is so incredibly powerful. And it's one of the distinctions that I see, especially once you have become more established as a coach. Once you, for example, have figured out how to enroll clients, once you have developed a program that you're confident in, once you've taken clients through and you're confident in your process, once you've figured out things like social media or content creation, and you've established a level of consistency in your business, what will happen more often than not is that it actually isn't about learning more or consuming more information at this point. What really starts to influence and impact your growth is that transformation. It is who you are becoming. It is the transformation process that you will naturally undergo as you do big things in your business, as you make those bigger moves in your business, as you actually learn new skills and implement new skills and strategies in your business. And so this is where having that depth does really matter. And I haven't talked a lot about this either, but I want to share this with you. This is why I'm such a big believer in long-term coaching relationships between coach and client. It's one of the reasons that I have many, many clients who continue to stay in my containers and renew year after year. It's because of the depth that we're able to get to. It's how we are able to partner together over the long term, over the course of a much longer period of time than, quite honestly, most containers are set up to be in this industry. Because I know my clients so well, I also know their patterns. I understand their businesses at the deepest level. I am able to hold and see the visions for them over the course and those next steps that are needed for them specifically to them. That isn't just a blanket how-to over the next several years to truly set them up for the rest of their life, to truly create millions and millions of dollars in revenue in their business. And in most cases, these are things they can't see for themselves. And the reason this happens is because there is trust that has been developed over time to know that decisions and strategies that we can collaborate on, those decisions are being made with the full picture of their business, including who they are. So my friends, this is why depth matters to you. I think one of the things that slows more coaches down than anything else is jumping from one program to another. It's jumping from one coach to another, when the reality is that you're probably not giving proper space and ample time for any level of mastery to truly learn and transform at the highest level. And in my experience, the biggest times of growth that I've personally experienced in my business have been because of and as a result of the transformation that I have gone through. And yes, there is a certain level of information that you will need to get to different levels, which is why, for me personally, that's very important to be able to provide that for my clients. But also along with that, true transformation can only really come in when you are in a place that is conducive to that, that is set up for that. So if you are in a place where you are right now wanting things to be different in 2025, if you are in a place where you know that you need a higher level of support. If you are unsure of what your next step should be, you might feel stuck, you might be in a plateau in your business. If that's you, I want to invite you to come and join us. If you have a program and you've successfully sold it, if you're coaching clients maybe on a one-on-one basis, or maybe you've even transitioned already into a group format and you're really ready for a quantum leap in your business, I want to invite you to come into our containers where we will do the foundational work, where you will have the information that you need. You will have the strategy that will be customized to you, that will be far more powerful than anything that you can find in just a how-to blanket informational system in order to tactically take your business to the next level. And you will also be held and coached to really step into your highest level and become the business owner that you know you're here to be. And so I want to invite you in. If that's you, I want you to apply to join us inside of my mastermind programs, where we do go deep, where there is real depth, where you will have the highest and the most cutting edge strategy that will create momentum, that will be tailored to you, to your business, to the audience that you serve, so that you can go to the next level of your business and be calibrated into your next level, to experience a new level and continued up-leveling of your identity, of who you are becoming, who you become as you lead your business forward more powerfully. So we're going to go ahead, link up the application in the show notes. I want to encourage you that now is the time. You have an opportunity right now, so many of you that want different results, that are ready to go to the next level in your business and to experience that level of transformation that will create the results that you want. Because what you do right now over the next several months will be what you create in 2025. So that work begins right now, my friends. Go ahead, go to the show notes, fill out the short application, set up a call. I can't wait to talk to you. I can't wait to welcome you in. Have a beautiful week, my friends. I'll talk to you all again soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the $1 Million Coach Business Podcast. If you're ready to step into the $1 million version of yourself and scale your business to 6, multi-6, or 7 figures and beyond, go to amandakarlstadcoaching.com.